Hi Scorpio, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2014, and there's going to be a little bit of a dance going on this month between transiting Saturn, which is in your sign, and the Sun and the Mercury positions, a little bit of Venus as well, and a couple of other things thrown in, as there is every month. But this month, with the Sun being in another fixed sign, that means more work, probably more dynamism, more demand coming in your direction as a fixed sign, and also the other fixed signs as well. So you do now have Mars in your sign, so really you are ready to rock and roll. And this has been there since the very end of July, so you're just beginning, especially you early Scorpios, beginning to sort of familiarize yourself with the acceleration of the energies, and this can come in various ways. It might mean that you're busier, or there's more hustle and bustle around you, or there's more coming at you. Or there's more need for you to step up to the plate, or indeed it might not be like that. It might be that sort of time of hanging fire, waiting, has dissolved away, and now clarity, decision, initiation. Okay, getting clearer and clearer, more obvious and more obvious, the targets, the goals, you know, the where the bar is, and I mean where the bar is set, but also where the bar is, of course, and it might be a juice bar. Hey, but you know, it's just got this feeling with it. Shall I stop and start again? No, I won't. It's just got this feeling with it of more going on, okay? And things are definitely getting lined up now. Mars is going to be in your sign until the second week, the end of the second week of September. Okay, so now it just so happens, as you may or may not know, that Saturn has come around to your sign for its 2.5-year transit, and it's well over halfway now. And it is the planet of testing and challenge. Comes around once every 29 years, and basically finds the weak spots in our plan, in our character, in our relationship, in our job, in whatever, in our health, and then presses on it. That is to strengthen us, you know. I mean, it is, and it's easier to realize that when you're over it and you look back. So with Mars now coming into the same area as Saturn, then we're getting this very slow, steady energy of Saturn, which is just, let's rewind a bit. The Saturn position in your sign should have started you asking questions like, okay, you know, what do I really want? Are there things about my life that I need to improve? And sometimes this is because of outside so-called circumstances that sort of roll up and knock at your door, and, you know, life shows up. But they are maybe a reflection of an internal state, and you could say an internal set of signals, frequencies that you're emitting, that then draw these things to you, and might also be to do with health, some of it. So these sorts of questions, you are kind of frog marched by Saturn into asking, what do I need to do to improve my life? What do I really want out of my life? There's all these things, these turns of events. I've got to take responsibility here. Is there too much fluff? Is there too much clutter? Are others blocking me? Am I blocking myself? So this is very much a time to reprioritize, because you're clearing the ground. I mean, there's a lot of information out there nowadays about Saturn. Saturn is the great builder of the zodiac, you know. She's a female energy in the type of astrology that I do, because she's the planetary vibration that forms, as the female will form from the sperm and the egg. She will form. Then the female is forming the fetus, the embryo, the child in the womb, and then forms very much the child's character. They do say that the hand that rocks the cradle, you know, rules the world. She's very much the forming, shaping parent, even if that child is maybe, unfortunately, the mother is no longer there for its early years. She has at least formed that body, you know, to incarnate that soul into the world. So that's how I see Saturn, as the forming and shaping and great building planet. She's also the planet that limits and chastises. Once again, you know, don't run across the road, you know, be careful, you'll fall, or that's naughty, give you a smack. And basically this is what Saturn does. So, but Saturn has got this, is like this Leviathan female, you know, who sees all aspects and possibilities, because she works on the level of your overarching higher consciousness. And she shows up in this ordinary personal life once every 29 years. And in a way, it's the reaping of a harvest, in a way. And there can be a lot of good things, you know, if you've experienced, if you've learnt, if you've worked hard. So then you get the harvest of that, because then something shows up that is challenging you to say, okay, show us what you can do with all of this cleverness that you've amassed to yourself. But also it's the harvest of bad habits, you know, it's the harvest of things that are swept under the carpet, you know, it's that kind of harvest as well. So Saturn has been linked to the Grim Reaper, you know, and also she's quite a judgmental sort of energy. And who is it doing the judging? Probably, you know, yourself, really. So you're asking yourself these questions, you're confronting yourself about, okay, what do I need to do to clean up my act? I got to take responsibility here, because, excuse me, things do show up that kind of sort of point in that direction, and it's kind of a no-brainer sometimes. So she is about shaping and building, and really at this stage in your sign, she's about clearing the ground to put those new footings in place. And you have to, during this period, be very patient with yourself, because nothing that Saturn does is quick. It's never speedy. Now then, having said all that, Mars has just turned up. Mars is the speed merchant. Mars likes to rev the engines and roar through and get it all sorted and get it all done and out of the way, and on and on and on and on and on. Mars is very fiery, whereas Saturn is very heavy, rocky, mountainous earth. So Mars comes along and says, okay, let's get the ball rolling here, you know. So there could be more hustle and bustle. However, with Saturn and Mars together, there's something about the military here. There's something about the army marching one foot after the other in a very orderly way to get to, you know, the battle, to get to the battlefield, maybe, you know, or it's for another sort of reason. So it is an army, and it has got energy, it's got weaponry, skills, tools, it's got all of that, but it's just like this feeling of Mars, Saturn together, and so you have to be methodical, you have to be step by step, you have to be gradual. But there's no doubt about it, with Mars finally in your sign after being held away from you for over 7 months now, things just snap into focus, and it'll be to do with what's going on around you as well. over this more or less 7 weeks that Mars is going to be in your sign. And the need for you to be competitive, to be up for it, and very much decisive, is increasing. And it will mean that you'll have generally more vitality, because again, the Mars energy has sort of kept your physical stamina down since last November, December time. This has been going on in the sign before yours. It's definitely time to get with the program, and if you're just beginning to sort of kind of wake up and look around, it's actually keeping up with the program that's already running, sort of thing. And you get plunged in, sometimes it's in the deep end, but then you have to do this very sort of synchronized, steady, efficient, competent sort of swimming, if it's the deep end, or whatever it is. There will probably be a lot going on, but at least it's better than maybe for some of you, you felt like you've just been hanging around and there's been all sorts of delays and obstacles and hoops to jump through. It's just been a little bit like one damn thing after another. So anyway, Mars is there. The other thing I want to speak to you about is the change of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter has come up to the top of your chart. I mentioned that last month. And this is going to be a 12-month period now of a door swinging open in your career area, but also it is the area of your general direction in life. So it might be that some of you find you're living in a different place, you're in a different relationship, you're in a different job by the time this transit has finished. And it is definitely positive. It's definitely dynamic. It's creative. It's enterprising. You'll be definitely learning a lot of new things. Jupiter being the learning through doing planet, and so for us to learn, it's not going to be just a sort of seamless and smooth, because we just don't learn unless we get our butts kicked. But actually, as a matter of fact, Jupiter doesn't tend to do that. Jupiter can maybe get us expanding too fast, taking on too much, and then finding that even we can't manage to juggle all those balls in the air. That is how Jupiter teaches, really. It's a little bit more like that. So promising too much, biting, biting off more than we can chew, that kind of thing. So that's the way Jupiter teaches. Is a lot gentler than the way Saturn teaches. So this is general direction in life, and this trance is going to help you very much point you, try to nudge you in the direction of doing something with your direction of in life, your career, your relationship, your place on the map, whatever it's about, health matters, which is more you, which is more authentic to yourself, which you can identify with more, coming from where you are within at this stage in your life's journey and the maturity that you have achieved. So I just wanted to put that in front before I mention to you the more fleeting and, shall we say, surface energies of the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, right? So as the month kicks off, actually the Sun is at the top of your chart in the area of Jupiter, and right in the very beginning of the month and maybe the last few days of July, it's really quite an expansive energy. It's an energy of like launching in some way, whether it's an adventure or a project or whatever, and it's quite a good energy there. And it is about, the impression you're making on others, and presentation skills, and also it is about, your goals and your targets. Now, please could you just be aware that on the 8th and the 9th, things are a little bit choppy there, and you may have to be very determined as you push through, but also there is quite a strong wave coming onto your Venus at that time there. And Venus is actually in an area to do with travelers or traveling. It's in an area to do with someone at a distance or somebody from a distance with whom you have a connection, whether it's, you know, heart-to-heart one, which it could be very likely, but also it could be a business one. It could be you know, money involved, a money-making type thing. And of course it could be anything to do with the internet, I suppose, because we're connecting over the wires all the time with people far, far away. It could be something to do with publications, beating the drum so that others know about you, or you make sure that others know about something anyway. It could be a little bit like that, and it could be that you find a teacher or are seen as a teacher or a guide or an advisor, and others look up to you for your knowledge, your expertise. You know the ropes on something, or vice versa. It can be like that too. So on the 8th and the 9th, there's quite a good sort of wave of, it's kind of a refreshing energy coming from that direction there. However, the other energy, and this is for all the signs, on the 8th and then on the 9th, needs you to keep a, you know, a cool head and not to try and schedule anything that's sort of slightly dangerous or really, really majorly important to you on those 2 days there. Also on the 7th, this energy is kind of a bit dreamy. This energy is gentle, it's selfless, so you would be advised to be getting very busy on behalf of others, maybe picking up after others, or just keeping a sort of a caring mother hen sort of eye on others, or whatever it's about, being the support there, you know, but unthanked probably, but also realizing that you have a responsibility yourself. You've got to be a support for yourself as well. But this can very much sort of be a catalyst for the dreamer within you to come to the surface, the intuitive, the creative, very much there. And perhaps you could do some work with, you know, visualization and manifestation, because you Scorpions, you know, you're really, really powerful psychically, and you can do that type of work without, you know, a huge amount of trouble. Now, until the 16th, we've got correspondence and ideas revolving around that area of goals and career stuff and bureaucracy maybe. And then from the 16th, this is a period when groups will become more important, networking, chewing the fat with others, bouncing ideas around with others, but also friends, and not what you know, but who you know. And then please avoid major decisions on the 18th and 19th, because you got your head in the clouds a little bit then. So watch out for that one. And then from the 12th, Venus is helping you to create favorable circumstances with authority figures. So people in positions of authority could look upon you in a sort of good light, and there could be an ally for you there who facilitates your ambitions and your aims and your goals. And that is it for August. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also, if you want to check up something, have a look at that online on my website, DianaGarland.com. Just going to tell you, you Scorpios born in the middle 10 days or with 15 to 19 degrees rising, you are feeling the energy of Saturn the most at the moment. But it looks like a very, very busy, kind of very sort of interesting time. And I wish you well, and I'll see you the next time.